G'day guys, just a video on a few things in the backyard today. So this is the second round of grafting in this cell builder that I set up 2 weeks ago. So at this point there's no open brood in this hive, so I would expect them to focus on these cells pretty much. So on this first bar, closer to the front of the hive, got 4 cells, and they all look pretty good. So this is the first look I've had in here since I grafted these cells. I just need to know how many there is so I can plan on what I need to do with these cells. So here's the other bar from further back in the hive. And this one's got all 6 completed. So that's a total of 10 cells, which I reckon is pretty good out of this little hive. Now you can see these cups are transparent. You can see the royal jelly, excess royal jelly still in the cups. So I'd say these cells are pretty well fed. I'll just go through a few other hives today. So this is one of these commercial minis that I converted it into a homemade, and then I just shifted this to a new spot in the yard and gave them a cell. So I thought that there'd be enough bees in here that they could re-establish and carry on at a new spot. But they're not taking down their feed, which is a bit of a red flag that something's not quite right. I'm wondering whether the cell emerged or whether it failed for some reason. You might be able to see the liquid there. There's still about half the feed in that feeder. And the frames look pretty dry, but you can see the cell did emerge properly. So it should have emerged about 2 days ago, so there should be a virgin queen in here walking around. You can see it's just a little bit of brood still to hatch out. Not very many bees. So I'd say this is sort of not functioning quite right for some reason. But I do find the queen. She's on the front wall there. You might just be able to get a glimpse of her. But yeah, it's not in very good shape really. It's a bit weak. The combs are a bit dry. They're not taking feed, so hopefully that queen, now that she's emerged, she might sort of bring things together a bit better. We'll just have to see how they go. So this is the hive where that previous one was originally located. So it's got those 2 conversion combs in the front of the box there. This is a frame of honey, old honey that I put in there, and they haven't done anything with this. I thought they might chew out a little patch for the queen to lay, but they haven't done that. So I just put sidebars on it and put it back in. So So this is a frame of brood that I donated from another strong hive. And I'm pleased to see there's eggs in the open cells. You may remember I reintroduced the queen with a introduction cage, and I went back in after 4 days and she hadn't been released. They hadn't eaten all their fondant, so I released her manually after that, and I was a bit worried they might have built emergency cells, which I have seen before, but I didn't find any emergency cells in the hive today. But this was one of those little conversion combs. It was only probably about a third of the size of what it is now, so they've done a bit of work building out. You can see the brood there in the centre. Haven't seen the queen yet, so she must be on the next one right at the front. So this was the other conversion comb, and there's the queen there. So she's looking fit and well. She's searching around for somewhere to lay an egg on this comb, but she's already got it all laid out. It's pretty hard to see the white eggs against the new comb, but you might be able to see eggs there. She really could go in a full-size hive now and start laying up a serious amount of brood. So there is a bit of a nectar flow on here. It's nothing very strong, so I may just give these another feed just to help them build out a bit more comb. They've got that one foundation in the front there to work on. So this is the other conversion hive. So this one didn't have a frame of honey donated, it just had the frame of brood from another hive, and once again I reintroduced the queen and she wasn't released when I came back and checked, so I had to release her manually as well. I've probably built this out a little bit, this first little comb at the front. Same with this one, I've probably built it out a bit, and I was just wondering what was going on with that brood in the centre, but there's just a bit of pollen packed in between the brood, which makes it look a bit patchy. So once again I was looking for emergency cells, just because that queen was stuck in the cage for so long, but there's the queen there, so they haven't done away with her. She's a little bit smaller, this queen, so I think she's probably not quite as vigorous as that last one. You can see a little bit of fresh honey in the corner there, which is good to see. And they have built out this comb, which is a nice bit of work they're doing there. Just slightly rearranging. I just moved that comb they've built away from the feeder so they can finish it properly. So this is another one. This one appears quite strong when you first look at it, but last time I was in here they were queenless. So I just gave them a frame of brood from another hive and just left them to it, hoping they'd make themselves a queen from the donated brood. So I've just left them alone for a few weeks, and about 3 weeks I suppose. And today I'm first time back in, just looking to see whether they were able to make a queen. And you may or not be able to see there's eggs in this comb and evidence of a queen cell there. Might be able to see the eggs. So they have made a queen and she's just started laying. Yeah, she just started laying the last few days, and no brood yet, just eggs. And there she is on this comb here. Appears to be quite a calm, slow moving type of queen. But anyway, I'll just leave her to lay for a bit longer, and I can assess whether she's mated properly. It's a bit hard to tell much just from eggs. While I'm in here, just put on some sidebars and that sort of thing. So because they've gone through a period with no brood, there's quite a bit of honey in this hive. I've had the chance to store up a bit of excess honey while they're not feeding any brood. Just removing that wax off the wall so the sidebars fit in there a bit better. And I'll just put this one back together and leave them be. Now this is one that's been going for a little while, but I haven't been in to inspect it for a couple of weeks, so I just thought I'd check now, and got a few new combs in there that need sidebars. See a nice bit of pollen and honey in that frame. So nice patch of capped brood and a bit of a band of honey, which is good. This time of year the nectar flow sort of stops and starts, and you really want to see, there's the old queen cell that the queen came out of there. Yeah, you really want to see a bit of honey in the hives. You don't want them to be completely just all brood and no honey, which is the way the Italians can be sometimes. So these two frames at the back are new combs. So I'll just be putting sidebars on them. But you can see with the new comb being built at the back, the queen was very keen to get on there and lay. The young queens have a very strong urge to lay everything they can, so you can see these couple of combs are pretty much all brood from top to bottom. Yeah, all that capped brood and the vacant cells in the centre there have got eggs in them as well. So she's definitely a strong laying queen, this one. Definitely ready to go in a production hive as soon as possible. So what I could do is harvest a queen like this and put one of those queen cells in. Those queen cells are only a week old, so they're not quite ready to go in a nuke yet. You're better off to leave them in the cell in the strong cell builder until they're ready. So there's the queen there. She's quite a large queen, quite a long, stretchy sort of queen, which is nice to see. She's not a grafted queen. I really think the bees can make a decent queen. You don't have to graft all queens, but she is, let me think, no, she does come from the supersedure queen, the old queen. She's just a little bit black on the tip of the tail, which is not quite what I usually expect from that queen, but anyway, she's a good queen nonetheless. Very good laying queen, I'd say. Yeah, those two new combs at the back, they're all brood and no stores, so you know, if this whole hive was like that, it would be a bit of a worry if we went into a dearth period. But there is a little bit of honey there on these older brood combs. And just a little bit of honey there in that comb, new comb at the front. Okay guys, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you again sometime soon.